Now, let me begin by asking you, what is the significance of Russia's decision to suspend its participation in the Black Sea grain deal?
Well, thanks a lot, Richard, and it's a real pleasure to be talking to you today. I think in your previous report, it's very clear that the major impact is going to be around the movement of the product. As you know, that region of the world is a big exporter of grains, particularly wheat, and a lot of the oilseeds. So if there's going to be a lack of guarantee for security to move grains out of that part of the world to receiving areas like Africa, we're going to probably see some constraint in terms of supply. But I think we're also probably going to see an uptick in the prices, which had by and large started to track downwards, both from a grain perspective and a fertilizer perspective. But what we anticipate is going to happen now with this latest development is that all changes, and it's going to be interesting to see what the next 3 months looks like as both supply and price issues kind of find their level.
All right, Mandla, you touched a bit of it in your previous answer. Talk to us specifically how countries in Africa are likely to be impacted, though, by Russia's decision on the grain deal.
Well, I was actually looking at a report before coming on to the interview, which was released a couple of weeks ago by the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA. It's called the Food Security Monitor. If you look at their June report, it indicates that the Black Sea Grain Initiative alone was probably responsible for about 3 million tons of grain targeting African countries. And one of the biggest procurers of grain through that initiative is Egypt, which in the last month alone probably imported a couple of hundred tons of grain from that part of the world. So the impact is going to be severe because 3 million tons is 3 million tons. It means that for countries like Egypt, South Sudan, and other parts of the continent that rely on that area for procurement, either will need to have to find alternative sources that are more reliable in terms of supply, or they're basically going to have to pay a little bit more than they were paying before to procure those grains. So the impact, I think, is going to be, in my view, severe if there isn't an alternative way to find a compromise, because supply and price are going to be definitely impacted, and this could create a few challenges for Africa.
All right, 3 million tons is an astronomical figure, but let me ask you this. Is the continent, Africa, capable of weaning itself off food imports from outside of the continent, and what needs to be done to achieve this?
Well, I think that's actually the most important question. You will remember that in the last few months, countries like Ethiopia and Zimbabwe proudly announced that they are self-sufficient in as far as wheat supply is concerned for the first time in many years. And there are a few reasons for that. And this is why for us as the CGIAR, we are interested in being part of the solution. The only way that you're going to, effectively deal with this long term is twofold. Number one, if we look at the production side, Africa uses fertilizer, but clearly not enough fertilizer. A lot of the fertilizer that